host, El Vago, owner, operator of El Vago Burger and Barbecue, located at 4701 Banana Drive, Motown, Texas, Molina neighborhood.
Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that? Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that?
Welcome back to the Volo. I'm your host, El Vago. Today we have a special guest. He's a police officer, CCPD, Victor
Valdivia.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me on this podcast. I hope I can get a little bit more light, to the people out there, like what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and the trends, that's going on in Corpus, and just, a perspective from, I guess from a police officer's point of view than just a normal.
Citizen, every time you get the bad guy, they're going to say the worst shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it, you know what I mean? There's two stories to every side, but you know what I mean? There's a bunch of messed up stuff on both sides. You know what I mean?
It is, and I can't say that we're all perfect, as far as that goes. And, it's just sometimes it's just a job, at the end of the day too, that we got to do. And, it is what it is. But
it's crazy, man.
But
all right, man, we'll start from the beginning, man. Where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from here. I was born here, and then I was basically raised in Port Aransas, but it's the same thing. It's about just 30 minutes north of here. So I was born and, I was raised here all my life. So from just 1996 to now, I've just been staying here in the coastal bend. Went to school in Port Aransas High School, throughout my whole life, did some sports here and there. Then after high school, I went to A&M Corpus, got my degree in criminal justice. Then after that, I decided just kind of spice it up a little bit. So I went to Del Mar and got my EMT license, and I was doing some firefighting work and some EMS work for about a couple of years, just here and there with some construction work off to the side. And then applied here and then got the job and been a police officer for the past 5 years. So, and alongside is just with my twin sister and my older brother. And then I got my parents as well. So,
that's better.
So just been doing it for the past, approximately 5 years. And, as a first responder, been doing it for the past 7. So,
how'd your mom feel about you being a police officer?
Oh man, she's kind of like your typical Hispanic mom, man. So my both of my parents are originally from Peru. They came over here to the States, and so man, she's worried. Especially it's kind of weird too, is because my sister gets worried. That's my twin. So we're both in the womb together. We both live our life together, and it's weird because sometimes, man, I don't know how, but sometimes I'll be working at night, and she'll wake up and crying, and I'll be like, what's going on? And she's like, are you at work? And I'll be like, yeah. She's like, it's weird because I just had a crazy dream that something happened at work. And I'm just like, I'm looking around like,
don't curse me.
Like, don't curse me, But I was like, thank you for checking up on me. But no, I'm at work. But that's kind of weird that you didn't know I was at work. But, that's a twin thing. I don't know if it's a twin thing or not. But you're dreaming that I'm at work. And, unfortunately, she's dreaming about something bad happening. But yeah, I mean, especially my mom and my sister, man, they got the worries, and it's kind of just one of those things, unfortunately, that I hate to put them through, but they know I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm trying.
What about the fireman thing? She was okay with that?
So that was actually my first responding then. So at first she was kind of not agree with it, and especially my dad too, surprisingly, not really people in my family, my dad's side, they're military, they're police in Peru. But as far as like on my mom's side, nobody was that. And as far as the United States, like nobody on my mom or dad's side, they're not police officers or first responders in general over here. So she was kind of, iffy about it, but it was just a small town, Port A's only like 3,000 people. So it wasn't something like every day.
Did you ever see anything crazy putting out fires? And did you do anything?
Yeah. So, I mean, I did it all, man. And, it just kind of amazes me what nature can do, It's just, I've been into burning homes. I fought fires, like fully engulfed, but it's just crazy. Even the stuff you put on, like you're able to go inside. It's just that feeling, that sizzling heat, and like you can actually feel your skin sizzle. And it's just crazy, man. And it's just like, it always just amazes me, like kicking that door and going inside and seeing all that fire. You're just like, wow, how can such a thing can be so, tragic or, travel, just whatever, but it's just crazy. But seen some crazy things, even with the EMS side, it's just always something new every day. So.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Did you pulled people out?
No. Usually by the time they're kind of smart about it, like in Port A, like I guess homes are coming more and more modern, especially after the hurricane. Especially with all the new houses being built. I mean, we got hit pretty hard. So, code came in and, people with the old houses have to upgrade and get up to code and things like that. But, I haven't really pulled anyone out. No, I haven't had that chance to, I guess, be that cool in a sense. So
I'm sorry, man. I'm texting.
No worries. But yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. And I started at a young age too. I think I got into the EMS and fire world I was like 20.
Yeah.
And I did it up to then. So I was just like, man, I'm a college kid. Just let me see if I can hit up my local fire department. Did it, and then went to EMT school and all that, and started from there. So.
Yeah, that's better. How long did it take for you to get it?
So the fire department there to just volunteer, but for my EMS, it took me 6 months to do a class. So you do like 6 months of classes for your clinicals. You got to do all that, write outs and whatnot. And then you got to take the national test, which, man, that was hard.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I passed it to this day. That was like the hardest test, man. And that was like, I went up all the way up to San Antonio just to take it. And, I went ahead and did it, and it was hard in 6 months, but I did it, and after that, you just become a certified EMT. I'm just a basic. I'm not like a paramedic or anything, but I still did it. So,
yeah, you're nervous taking the test.
Yeah, because like, man, you're moderated, and then like, it was so much like it's just like drinking out a fire hose, man. Like all the information they put out to you and stuff. So, I had two choices: either I can go to San Antonio the next day once I finished my classes to take it, or I had to wait about a month to take it in Corpus. And I was like, nah, I got to do it right now because like it's still fresh in my mind and whatnot. So went up to San Antonio. Once I was done, I was like, dude, there's no way I passed. I was pissed off by myself. I went to the Riverwalk by myself in San Antonio, ate food by myself, and I was just feeding the ducks. I was like, man, like that's it. All sad, like all worried. And then about a week, I said, congratulations, you passed. And I was just
man,
like,
I bet you were happy, huh?
I was more shocked, honestly. Yeah. I was like, there was no way, because in high school, man, science wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my top suit. Even in college too, it wasn't my top suit. Like anatomy and things like that. Anatomy, I kind of got down, but just science in general, man, I had to have problems trying to get it down. So when I passed it, I was like, man, like, am I good at science now? Can I become a doctor? Or whatnot. So it was just one of those things, man. And it's just like I was just happy. Yeah, I was happy, shocked, everything. Yeah. So
what made you want to be a cop?
Man, it was something I wanted to do since I was like 5 years old, because I have an older brother, right? He's like 15 years younger or older than me. So, 5 years old, he's 20 years old, and he's disabled. So he lives with my parents and stuff. So when I was a kid, man, obviously he's 20 years old. He's going to watch movies, watch shows, whatever. So remember, ever since I was a little kid, man, he would start watching Cops, because that was a big thing back in 90s and then early 2000s, so that was just like, that was crazy. So I'd be there I remember like watching Cops with him, and he would watch the first Bad Boys, the second Bad Boys, and just all that stuff, man. So it just like amazes me, and I always just like helping people, always put other people like first besides me, and that's just something I always try to like interrogate into the jobs that I try to do and whatnot. So that's why I always want to just help people, meet people. Everyone has a story, and I like to hear their stories. And everyone's different, and then especially since my brother was handicapped, I always respected that. Like no one's the same, and so I kind of learned that from a young age, that no one's the same, everyone's different, and everyone has their story. So you need to be respectful, and you need to hear them out and see what you can do to help them.
You never thought about joining the military?
I did, but man, my eyesight sucks. I have like poor eyesight, but even my dad wanted to, and I guess military just like it runs in the family. So on my dad's side, and I wanted to, like Army, Marines, or Navy, but I was like, let me go to college first, let me get that degree, and then I'll probably go to the military. But once after that, man, once my eyesight kind of just got worse, like I want to go in the Navy, but I was just like, I want to do the cool stuff, but with poor eyesight, I heard you can't. But I don't know if that's a myth or not, but everyone says LASIK, but I got astigmatism. So it's pretty bad. So I think for the betterment of the country and stuff, I think I should back off a little bit, so just to focus on my contacts and whatnot. So
how old are you, bro?
I'm 28.
You're 28.
Yeah, so I'm 28 years old, and
How long you been a police officer?
So about approximately 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, I joined in 2019 is when I first started the academy. And then out in the streets, it was the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, what did you have to do to become a police officer?
So you got to do your applications, right? So you do your questionnaires, you fill out the application. It's pretty much like basically your life, you know. And then after that, they send it off, you know. But first you do all that, I kind of skipped the part. You got to do a PFT. So you got to do your physical and whatnot, and then to see if you're able, like, physically fit to go on. And then after that, you do the applications and things like that, and then you do your backgrounds, a polygraph test, like an oral board interview, and you kind of just, you know, you go to see a counselor or like a psychologist to see if you're fit for the job. You don't have any past traumas that is going to affect you for doing your job. And then once you get the okay from that, you know, you go in the academy. I mean, it sounds easy, but it's a long process. Yeah, it took about maybe 3 months for everything, you know, for everything to the application process, to go see the psychologist, to go get your health screen, to do the background, the polygraphs, the oral board. So it's a long process, man.
And make you take a polygraph test?
Yep.
Yeah. What kind of questions they ask, if you mind me asking?
And it's pretty much just the same thing as the application, you know,
like a psychology thing.
Yeah. No, not and the psychology thing, they kind of just say like, hey, like, you know, tell me about your life. Like pretty much what we're doing right now. Yeah. You know, just having a one-on-one conversation, and, you know, and obviously they're going to ask, like, you know, what was the most traumatic thing in your life and things like that, to see, you know, if it's going to affect you or not, you know. But yeah, the polygraph, yeah, that was kind of crazy, but yeah, after that, man, it's kind of just a breeze. And then you get your, you know, your letter of I guess of appointment, and say, hey, you know, you start the academy this week, come prepared. And
you went through the whole thing of getting tased and gassed and
I did it all, man. Yeah.
Man, how was it?
I'd rather get tased repeatedly, like 10 times over, than get pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
You know, because pepper spray is just me a piece of liquid, but, you know, it lasts about 25 minutes, and then you think it's done, and then you go home and take a shower, and it
comes back,
and then it sometimes lasts for 3 days, you know, because it's just still on your skin, and it runs down, and unfortunately it's going to hit places you don't want it to hit, because, you know what I mean? Like, because, and then, like, it's just a problem, because when you shower, right, you just get that runoff. And
you think they hit you extra harder just to?
I hope not. Yeah, because once it hit my eye, man, that was it. I was like, I couldn't see.
And the taser, what did it do?
For me, everyone has a different reaction, right? And that's something I learned after the fact of, like, being in the field and stuff. But for me, I clenched up. I could process what was happening, but I couldn't control what I wanted to do. Yeah. So if I wanted to fight back, I was just clenching so hard, and you know, like the first thing first it hit me, I just felt like just straight. I couldn't move. And then I just felt my left leg just start rising up, because my hamstring started to cramp up. Oh, man. And then so next thing you know, you just hear like down and down. And, you know, once it's done, it's done.
They hit you the one with the needles, the shooting one?
Yep. The prongs.
The prongs.
Yeah. They hit you with the prongs. And for the ones that didn't get hit with both prongs, they followed up with the drive stun, which is.
You ever seen videos of dudes getting hit with it and don't do them shit?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. And that's honestly just like either their adrenaline is just way up, or they're just chemically induced. Yeah. You know, and I've seen videos where like they pop them and they just.
Yeah. Keeps
like,
going.
What the heck?
Have you ever hit somebody with them?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a couple of runs, and at first I usually try not to do it. But now, since I've been on a couple of years, and, you know, for 5 years, and 20 years old, you know, I'm not the youngest, but I'm not the oldest. And I just like, it's a tool. I'm going to use it. You know, do I want to use it? No. But just the circumstances, I'd rather use it than just get a full on fist fight. Because at this point,
most of the videos I always see, it's always just somebody arguing with the cop for no reason. Like, it's not for no reason, but it's just like, it's uncalled for. It's like, you know, the cop's telling them something and they want to argue back and they want to fight back, when it's simple, like yes or no, or just comply, and you know, but they keep going and they end up getting tased, and then all of a sudden they're the victim.
Right. You know? So yeah, and then like a lot of people like to argue, and I get it, you know, they're frustrated. That's the main thing why they start arguing. They're frustrated. But it's hard for me, especially like when I'm in the field, and my experience is that it's hard for me to explain the reason why I'm doing what I have to do if someone wants to argue. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, I always try to say like, hey, just relax, let me talk. And sometimes it works, but then like sometimes it gets them amped up that they want to fight. And then you just know when someone's on adrenaline or chemically induced or whatever the case is, you're not gonna, they're coming like superhumans, you know, like
especially the people that smoke legal, man.
Yeah, that's another story, man. Yeah. It's either two sides. Either they're just passed out like a zombie and either sleeping standing up, or they're just going nuts, man. And it's like superhuman strength, honestly. Like one person, even though like I'm 165, like, you know, I'm not a big boy or anything, but someone could be the same size as me. They could be a little bit smaller, like 150, 130. But when they're on that stuff, man, they feel like they're 215 pounds and they can bench 315 for reps. Yeah. You know, and it's just crazy what that drug can do, especially that synthetic, man. And it's just, you could buy it, like, you can get it for so cheap from what I heard too. You know, it's just nuts, man. And it's just something, unfortunately, that it's not mainly like a common drug, but it's mainly a common drug for the transients, you know, the homeless people. And that's usually what they use. But it's just crazy that superhuman strength is just on a different level, man. And that's just something else. But, you know, have I run into it like a lot? Yeah. Especially like when I first got on, it was crazy compared to now. That synthetic, man, it's just like back in the day, because I used to work the downtown district a lot. And I still do. That's my current like post, I guess you could say. But when I first started out, when I was on the FTO program, every day, man, it's just when that Stripes on Leopard and Staples was open, it's crazy. Nothing but synthetic going around and people being affected by it.
They shut that store down, right?
Yeah, thank gosh, man, because it was just that was their hangout spot, you know. And you know, because you got the jail right there, so when people get released from jail, like especially like the homeless people, they go straight to the Leopard and Stripes, get a Coke, and then they start hanging out there, and you're just like, hey, you got to move along, you know. Like, you're affecting business. I think that's why they shut it down.
I think they move over to the one on Ayers now, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot. They kind of shifted over to Ayers and Tarleton area, that event center right there. And poor guy, man, that owns that place. He's trying to fix it up. Yeah. He's trying to fix it up, and he's painting it. He said, like, dude, I want people to come here. And there's actually like owners there too. Like they're store owners. Like you got that nursing place, you got some boutique store, and you got the Times Market. And you know, they gotta conduct business too. And it just sucks because like they're there and it kind of deters people, you know, and like it deters people from going to that business, and it affects their business as well. Like maybe that's their living or whatnot. And it's just poor guy. He's trying to fix it up, but it's just people keep hanging out there and kind of messing it up a little bit. So
yeah, that legal shit's pretty cheap, man. That's a dirty ass drug, man.
Yeah, I think the last time I asked, it was a long time ago, but I asked, I was like, how much is it? And it's like $5.
Yeah, $5 a gram.
Yeah, I was like, how much you get this, by the way? Because I was just curious, because like a lot of people, like homeless people, were using it. I was like, you say have no money, but you know what I mean? And I was
how do people get charged on that? Like if they get caught with it?
So it's just a possession of I think it's a PG2A. So it's just a Class B misdemeanor, depending on how many ounces you have. So it's just a Class B misdemeanor. Same thing as a DWI, first offense, or possession of marijuana. And so yeah, they just get charged on it, and then that's a county offense, so they go to county, and usually they just get released like a couple hours after the fact.
So how do y'all handle people? Because I know somebody that recently got pulled over, and he had bought some that THCA stuff, and they charged him like if he had real marijuana, took him to jail and everything.
Yeah, so we kind of get this a lot, and I kind of get it too. As far as I know, it's still banned because it's still a controlled substance. Because at the end of the day, marijuana is still illegal in Texas. Yeah. And so, you know, THC is still an extract of that. So it's kind of hard to tell. And, you know, do I really like to make arrests on that? No. But yes, and you know, I kind of have, that's what kind of puts me in a pickle. Yeah. You know, and it's because and a lot of people say they get it from the smoke shops, but I can't really contest to that. It's kind of that area, that topic's a gray, it's a gray area, because it's like, they get it if they truly get it from a smoke shop, then it's like, okay, I get that, but how, like, it's still illegal in Texas, you know, I still got a job to do, and I still have to charge them, and that's actually a felony. Yeah, it is. It's not like getting, you know, caught up with regular marijuana or anything. It's because, you know, and I just told them, right, if you melt an ice, it's still water, right? But if you add food coloring to an ice, it's not water no more. Or you add whatever to the ice, and once it melts, you know, it's not the same thing. So that's why a lot of people are confused. We're like, well, it's just a weed pen. I'm like, yeah, it's still a weed pen, but because you have to manufacture it to a point where now it's a wax, and you adding chemicals in order to form that wax, is now a controlled substance. And so a lot of people get confused, and it's just kind of hard to like explain it, you know. And do I think maybe in the future it's probably gonna get more lenient. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time for it to.
Yeah, but if you pull over somebody, they got roaches and stuff. Do you still haul them
For
in?
roaches? No. Me, no. Because I mean, at that point, it's just like
if it's just regular weed, you just give them a ticket.
Yeah, it's you can give them a ticket. Nueces County doesn't really like us to arrest them on it. It's we can just go ahead and cite and release. And then that's just an easier way so we don't overpopulate the jail. We can help them in that matter. But every situation is different. But yeah, it's just one of those things that we can cite and release if we need to. We don't have to arrest them. The only time I will add it onto their charge if I'm arresting them for something else. So like if they're drunk and they have weed or they commit another crime, then I'll slap it on there. But other than that, if it's just simply weed, I'll just cite and release because I don't want to overpopulate the jail. I don't want to put them in that position to be booked overnight or something for just something that's just another Class B misdemeanor. Same thing as synthetic or DWI. So
so synthetic and the marijuana is the same charge.
The same thing. That's all depends on how many grams you have. So it all comes to that. So it's the same thing as DWI. So a lot of people freak like, I'm gonna get a DWI. I'm like, it's the same as getting.
I'd be sad as hell when I got pulled over and had announced to me I have to go to jail for it to get it thrown away.
I know, right? Yeah, right. To get it thrown away or stomped or whatever. But it's
well, it's better than going to jail, I guess.
I know, and it's, you know, sometimes it's funny because I'm just like, if it's just like a roach or something, I'd just be like, they stomp it out, and they're like, "Really, boss?" I'm like, "It's either this or I can take you in." And like, "Really, boss? Like this is gonna hurt me so much." And you just see them doing it, and they're like, "Dang it," like, "Damn it." Like,
another question I have for you: do y'all get to pick your own weapon? Like your own?
No. So this is all city issued. As far as like when we carry off duty, we can choose our own. But as far as on duty, everyone has the same except for the SWAT guys and we might call it. Yeah, everyone's the same. It's a city issued firearm.
We carry Glocks.
No, we Smith and Wessons.
Smith and Wessons.
Yeah, Smith and Wessons. So everyone carries the same Smith and Wessons, and it's all city issued. But
how do you feel about that gun? You feel safe with it?
Yeah, I feel safe with it. The only problem with me, like, that I see is like it kind of rusts a little bit, but that's just because we're by the water, and this is that salt and that there's that salt in the air, man. It kind of kills everything. Can't even have a nice car out here.
Yo, I know, man. Like, I used to have a nice lowrider, man, and my rims would always rust like fast, man. No matter how hard I try to keep them clean, whatever. And,
I know.
Salt water gets to it.
When it comes to my weapon, it comes to my stuff, man. I'm just like, they're scrubbing. And I'm just like, it's not, there's no way I can get this rust off. And it's just one of those things. But other than that, man, I like it. It's pretty neat. I have one personally. As well, like a miniature, and I have a Glock as well that I carry around as well. And so
I love Glocks, man. I can't have a gun anymore, but when I did, I've always liked Glocks, man. Glocks.
I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah, you clarified it. But yeah, the Glocks are. I feel like they're there's a pros and cons to it. The pro is that it's sturdy. It doesn't rust as much. It's very built tough. But the cons of it is like I feel like they're kind of getting into their head of how mainstream they're becoming, and then that they're just kind of like.
I think Generation 3 and under were the best ones.
Yeah, I think so too. I have a Generation 3, and it's all right. It's not bad, but you can just kind of tell they're all just the plain thing. Like if Glock comes out with a new gun, everybody's gonna go crazy for it. It's just one of those.
Yeah,
things.
It got popular through rap videos. And stuff like that.
And just stuff like that. So,
the 100 round drums.
Yeah, the 100 round drums. It's crazy, man. Like especially like Glocks, man. They're so easy to modify. Yeah, these days
they're making them automatic now with those
the switches. That's federal time. That's not like you get caught.
But that's serious time though for one of those, right?
Yeah, it's serious time. Like if we were to pick someone up for it, like we'll do our thing, but ATF is gonna pick it up. Because that's those Glock switches, man. You can't. That's dangerous. Yeah, especially if it gets in the hands of someone that doesn't know how to control it. It's nuts, man. And now I'm finding out that you could just, it's 3D printers.
Yeah, 3D printers make them.
They make them, and it's just crazy, man. It's just like, and it's just that Glock, and that's why everyone mainly has Glocks because you can modify it to whoever you want. You can get them.
Do you own any Class 3 weapons?
No, I don't.
No,
I'm just simple.
You ever thought about getting one?
No, I'm not really too much of a gun fanatic personally. No, but I don't have like a whole safe of guns or anything. Yeah, I kind of just use it just for protection and whatnot. That's just me. I don't really try to get carried away. It's an expensive hobby,
Yeah, I know some guys in the past who were ex-military or police officers, and they got crazy weapons.
Yeah, they got crazy weapons, man. But that's just not me. I try to just like 1 or 2. That's it. You know what I mean? That's just to keep it.
Yeah, I see you're tatted up, man. They let you have tattoos now.
Yeah. So when I first started on, the policy was still no tattoos, no beards, and so I didn't have tattoos or beards, but just about like a year or 2 ago, they started allowing it, and I kind of like it. You know, it just I think over like I know before, especially when I was a kid too, like tattoos weren't as acceptable. You know, if you see someone all tatted up, you're just like, whoa, you know, like. You know, some people be
I kind of missed that though. Back in the days, whenever only certain people
were
them.
scared of you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was because back then it meant something. Now everybody.
Yeah, everyone gets it. You know, but for me, you know, in my point of view, it's like okay, now we're teaching children, we're teaching people, like police officers and nurses or whoever, right? You know, this just keep becoming more acceptable. Like kids growing up can see like. Hey, you know, if they see a tatted guy up like you know, they could probably feel comfortable coming up to you now.
Yeah.
Unlike back in the day, you know, like even my mom and dad are like, oh, like he's got a lot of tattoos, you know, like don't look at him or you know what I mean. But you know, I think it's great that we're doing it too because it just shows like people like it's becoming more and more acceptable.
More acceptable,
you know, just depending on the tats as well. So, but yeah, that's what I like about it. So I got these tats and yeah, man, that's also an expensive hobby too. Yeah. You know, it's just once you get once done, and you want to get more and more and more. So, what are you? Just a city cop or gang unit? So I'm just a regular city cop. You know, I just work for for Corpus Christi only. I don't work for the sheriffs. I don't work for the troopers or anything. I just straight, you know, answer calls in the city. And we all have zones, so I'm just in the downtown district. So I mainly focus on the downtown district. You know, in that aspect. So I only work for the city, and then just pretty much just in the zone that they put you in.
You ever thought about doing anything else in law enforcement, like SWAT or
I thought about
detective or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
I thought about it, but I still have me personally, I still have room to grow. You know, every day is different. I'm not going to be the guy that says I know everything because I don't. Yeah. You know, I still ask for advice. I still ask, hey, how do I do this, or how should I go about this situation? And so me personally, I would like to maybe like SWAT or something, but right now, like I'm just like living life because that's a commitment in its own. I'm just living life. I'm traveling. I want to do what I want to do first. You know, I have no kids, so I'm still living life. You know, so maybe just later down the line when I have a little bit more free time, I guess you could say, for my job, and I'll do it because right now I'm still just living life.
What would you be your first thing to do?
Man, I really want to do DPOs, which is the direct patrol officers. They kind of do more like they go out to the community, they engage with the community and stuff like that. And I really like to engage with the community. Yeah. Because I want to see who basically I'm protecting, you know, who I'm serving, who I'm servicing. And they kind of do that. But like right now, like especially since me and like I'm in the downtown district, I'm answering calls, you know, it's kind of hard to do that, to break away and do that, to meet, you know, go to the local senior center and see who's there, you know, say, hey, my name is this and that, because it's just the calls, man. The calls just stack up. We're just trying to just knock them out. So
what's your daily stuff though, like that you get calls for?
So for the downtown mainly, it's a lot of homeless people, and then for like citywide that I experience, it's a lot of like mainly just couples going at it, you know, whether if it's assault,
domestic violence,
or just arguing, you know. And unfortunately, it's just something that occurs every day, you know. That's just that's the most common ones that we get. Usually the morning guys, they get, you know, overnight burglary reports in the morning. Once they log in, they have to go do that and whatnot. When I was working nights too, it was mainly a little bit more calmer, surprisingly. But same thing too, it's just a lot of people were arguing with their couples mainly. And man, just back when I was working nights before I got off, we were just getting a lot of those Kia boys just tearing shit up, you know, just
those stealing. Kia boys are the ones that are breaking in the Kias and shit.
Yep. And you know, it's surprisingly, because it's not your 16-year-old, 17-year-olds. The youngest one I caught was probably 12 years old.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And they're driving, you know, it's not only Kias, that they steal Hyundais too. And they were in a stolen Hyundai, and they obviously they can't drive, so they wrecked the crap out of it, and they stole another Kia and they wrecked that one. And it's just, and then we got to him like, hey, how old are you? He's like, I'm 12. And I was like, what the heck? You know, like, does your parents know you're out here? And they'll say yes, because they don't want us to call their moms. Yeah. But then we call their moms, they're like, hey, do you know he's out here? And they're like, no. And it's crazy, man. Like, especially like I at 12 years old, I wasn't thinking about stealing cars. I was thinking about like, hey, midnight release for the Xbox, or whatever,
Yeah.
just stuff like that, just like what 12-year-olds do, or like, hey, I got homework, And I think the main problem with that is for social media.
Yeah.
And like when I had TikTok, I came across a video where it showed you how to steal a Kia.
Yeah.
It's like, dang,
that's
like,
crazy.
That's
man.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like now you have access to how to steal cars, and it's influenced these kids. And and like when the Kia boys started becoming famous on TikTok, that's when like they start doing challenges, how many cars you can steal. And it's just like, what I mean? It's just like, dude, that's crazy. Like why? That's just nuts. I never thought that social media will get to that point.
Did you ever get to arrest that little kid that was driving around on Castores?
No, that's not my area, but oh my gosh, I know some officers that were dealing with that. I heard them talk about it.
What did they do to him? Did his parents get in trouble or anything?
I think the parents got kind of a little trouble.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. I can't really speak for what happened because I wasn't there. It's just
I call that little boy Ricky Bobby, man.
Ricky Bobby, yeah. And it's just funny because even me too. I was seeing like a pink car. I'm like, oh god, like is this the kid? Is it the kid back at it again? But I mean,
he did it what, like 3 or 4 times already?
2 times. I think 2 times. Yeah, the first time.
2 times. I think recently, and then 1 time a long time ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I know the 2 times where he wrecked into the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then the second time he was at HEB, where like
Uncle Stores. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Stores, and that's just crazy, man. If I was to be in that position, I wouldn't know what to do. That would have been the first for me, honestly, because I would not like, especially if a 12-year-old would be like, "Hi," or like, "What the heck?" I'd be like so surprised, like I don't know what to do if you boy,
Yeah.
Especially at a young age.
So the crime in Corpus has been going up a lot lately, huh?
Yeah, especially over the weekend.
Wow, this past weekend was crazy.
Man, that's crazy. But yeah, it's and like I said, it's mainly kids that are doing it, and I don't know why. I just don't get it, and especially, when I run into them, I'm just like, what's the point? And of course they don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Like I'll handle it, or nah, I got nothing to say, but it's just like, dude, you're ruining your life at such a young age.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do this, and I don't know how, man. Like these kids are getting like highly accessible to guns lately too.
Yeah, I know.
How beats me. I know.
Are they real guns, or are they 3D printed guns?
No, they're real guns.
They're real guns,
and they get the attachments and stuff. I know some will come from they burglarize cars and stuff because people like to leave them in there.
Yeah,
don't do that. And that's how they were able to get these guns, because they'll break into the cars, or maybe their friends will break into cars. Like, hey, I got this piece for, and they'll probably sell it for cheap. They're not gonna do retail, because they're not really smart, and they'll get pawn it off, and that's my guess on how they get them. And but yeah, man, this crazy week too, and this past weekend, it's like no one can have a good time anymore.
I know, man.
Especially over there. There's like, I mean, prayers go out to everyone involved. That's a lot of people. I didn't, in my all years, I can't recall that many people getting shot in one night.
Well, 10 people got shot that night, right?
I think that's what I heard.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that's just crazy, man.
It's the Wild West, man.
And it's just crazy too. Like, I get it, and it's Halloween weekend, and people want to drink and stuff, but it's just nuts, man. It's like, and me personally, I haven't worked, Halloween weekends, and it kind of gets like that because just people just like to drink, themselves to a point where they just get, obviously not everyone's a happy drunk.
Yeah, that's the one thing I kind of always, thought about what people say whenever they want to like ban guns. They want to take guns. It's like, yeah, I want to ban guns, but you want to take away from the people that can carry them legally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that do it illegally, they're going to get them no matter what. You know what I mean? They don't care if it's legal or not.
Yeah.
If they want a gun, they're going to carry a gun.
Yeah. And some people follow the serial numbers and whatnot. And, I mean, it's your right to carry guns. And I just think people need to be more responsible with it.
Yeah.
And how they handle it, and how they use it, especially, it's just one of those things where it's just that one's just like, just a great area too, because everyone has their own opinions about who should carry it, who should be able to obtain one, how old you should be. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, that could be like a 2-hour long talk. And, it's just hard because it's our second right, but some people just don't know how to handle it.
But a lot of people y'all catch are kids, right, that have guns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately. And I remember one time, it made the news and everything. I was going to a different call, and I saw CCISD following someone, and I saw him duck into a neighborhood, and I was like, let me make sure he's okay. And this is when Uvalde came out, and like school shootings were at a heightened worried, And so anyways, I turned around, I was like, let me make sure he's okay. And I see the kid run. So I was like, hey, there's a kid running from CCISD, like, whatever. So I started chasing after the kid. Well, came to the fact, once I caught up to the kid, he had a gun in his pocket and he took it to school.
Oh shit.
And CCISD didn't really know about that until after the fact when I pulled it out, and I was pissed, man. I was pissed at the kid. I'm like, dude, why would you run? Especially with the gun, man. Like, and then he had a friend in school as well that also brought a gun, and they caught him in the school. And
what was the purpose of it?
I don't really remember. It was like 3 years ago, but they made a big thing because, again, it was just one of those things where Uvalde just happened, and we were just trying to like, and then it just sucks too because when that stuff happens, it becomes like a chain reaction. That
Uvalde incident, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If that would have happened here in Corpus, you think y'all as police y'all would have handled it the same way they did?
Yeah. As far as they did, we'd probably do like 180 because now it's what we did after that is we did nonstop active shooter training.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's actually not a law, but when we do our in-service each 2 years to like, basically like continuing education hours,
mm-hmm.
They're now putting us through a 3-day or a 2-day course that every officer in the state of Texas must take that refresher course.
But what I was talking about, like how the dude was shooting kids in there. Nobody wanted to go in there.
Yeah. I don't want to, like stir the pot or anything, but it was just very sad. Would me personally hearing all that, I don't think I could.
You could have. You
think you would have won it? I would think I would win it, even though it means costing my life.
Yeah.
As I can't just bear the sound of that happening and not doing anything.
You think they were scared or they couldn't go in there because they're getting charged for it now? Right?
Yeah, I think some of them are getting charged. I heard it was mainly just more miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just another thing too, where when, especially younger officers or just officers in general, like, because from what I heard, the chief of police said, no, don't go in, but there was officers that wanted to go in, but because of he's the chief and whatnot, they didn't go in and were obeying orders. So what our police department did was now nobody can't tell an officer yes or no to go inside an active shooter incident.
Mm-hmm.
This can be up to us. And we cannot get in trouble for let's say in this instance, someone tells me a higher up, right, says, hey, you can't go in, like stand by, let's wait for whatever. If I can literally tell them, say no, and I go in and I won't get in trouble for it. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's just nuts. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, man, that's horrible, man. That's just
it's that, man. Once I heard that, it's just crazy, man. And that's just, that ties back what we were just talking about like 30 minutes ago, like how some people are able to access a gun when they shouldn't,
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where how did he get it? And I forgot the whole story, but
yeah,
it's just, that was literally a turning point for law enforcement. I don't think only in Texas, but around the whole country.
Yeah.
That was nuts, man. That was just something
that was horrible.
That was just, I can't wrap my head around it,
Yeah.
And it's just,
I remember, do you remember whenever somebody had said over here it was going on at Ray, probably about a year ago?
Yeah, someone called in and then I think that was like kind of a few months after Uvalde. And of course parents, they're concerned for their child, they're concerned for, their loved ones, and that's totally understandable. And especially since it was still being fresh after Uvalde, like it's just one of those things where like we still did what we did, but of course parents say, like I'm gonna go in, this and that, and it's just something that
if a parent goes in, will they get in trouble for it?
I wouldn't know, to be honest. I'm not gonna say yes or no. I would understand why, but then at the same time, if they go in and we're looking, let's put it this perspective, right? Let's say the shooter is wearing a black shirt, shirt with someone wearing gold sunglasses, and then a parent goes in kind of wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
How are we gonna differentiate the two? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I want to like, I get it, like their loved ones inside, but it's just something we gotta put that.
Especially it was me all tatted up running into your.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those things too, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, the shoe's wearing, you know, and they usually wear combat boots and stuff. Like, you know, they're wearing, you know, a blue shirt. You know, this is what he looks like. This is now he's wearing blue jeans and shoes. Well, someone comes in the same thing, wearing the same thing. You know, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I get it. You know, it's parents, it's their loved ones, it's just
Oh
kids,
yeah,
and,
no man.
you know, it's just I don't blame them, but it's just something that, like I said, it goes back and forth where we have to do what we have to do, and we'll try to do it the best that we can.
Yeah. Have you ever had to shoot somebody in the line of duty?
No.
No?
Thankfully, no. You know, have I been close? Yes, unfortunately, I have.
Yeah.
But as far as me goes, no, I haven't. Haven't been able. You know,
What was the situation?
One time, I mean, this is the one I like remember vividly. It was the wife was calling in saying that her husband is drunk, but is wanting to shoot her and then have a shootout with us.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got there, you can still hear the argument in the background. He's saying like, yeah, I have these 2 guns and I can't wait for the cops to get here. I'm gonna do it, right? And so I got a couple of guys, and as soon as we get up, like sure enough, he was on the lawn, like a lawn chair, and he had 2 guns in his hand, and he looks at us and he starts getting up, and I was like, oh my god, like
here we go.
But then he just got scared because there was like 5 of us, and he was just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. He drops it. I was like, oh my god. But you could hear like everyone breathing heavily. We're just like, dude, this is not gonna be well if he actually tries to do that. And yeah, that was probably one, like me vividly remembering, you know, the close call that I had. But I try not to get to that point, and I don't want to get to that point, you know, because that's just one of those things. I know it's a hot topic right now, especially with the last 2 that happened. It's just one of those things where it's not only going to affect us. It's not only affect the families and stuff, but it's going to affect us. You know, am I going to, hopefully, you know, knock on wood, that never happens. If I go through that, like, am I going to be okay? Probably not.
What do officers have to go through after they shoot somebody or kill somebody?
Right. So after that, they get transported to the main station. And what a lot of people don't know about this, and this was an eye opener when they told me too, you know, is that when they get to the main station to give their statements and whatnot, they're actually read their rights, and they're actually being charged with a crime until the investigation is complete. So, like I said, so if you shoot someone that's still alive, or you shoot someone and, you know, they unfortunately pass away, you get charged with murder or whatever the charge is that correlates to what happened, and you actually read your rights, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things where in the movies like Bad Boys, or, you know, all those cop movies you see on TV or the shows as well, where you shoot someone and the next hour you're back at work. It's not like that at all. You know, you gotta give your statement, and then, you know, what happened, why'd you do it, you gotta articulate it. Then they gotta do their investigation to see what you did was right or was it wrong and whatnot. And then after that, they kind of, you know, it gets sent out to a grand jury, and they're the ones that say, hey, we're gonna try this or we're not gonna try it. And a lot of people just don't know that you get charged with it. You know,
do you think it's gotten more stricter recently?
Yeah, I think it's gotten more stricter. You know, I haven't been in that situation, so I can't say yes or no, but what this department is mainly focused on is more de-escalation. You know, we don't want to get to that point. I don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get to a point where I'm having to draw something or fight someone or whatever the case is. You know, I want to just like, hey, like, let me hear your story, you know, and let me see what I can do to help you out, you know. And has that worked for me a lot? Like, yeah, because I'm kind of just more like, when I approach someone or something, I try to be normal.
Yeah.
I don't let the bash get to me. I'm not going to be that, you know, that robot or whatever. I try to be, hey, you know, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, I'm not going to be like, well, you know, tell me what I can do, or, you know, this is what the law says you can't do. Like, no, like, be normal. And I think that's kind of like a big game changer too. And how a lot of people, like, how you approach the situation when someone calls or something, I think has a lot to do with it. If you come off all like mean, or if you come off all like formal and stuff, I don't think it's probably gonna be like, oh. But if you come up, you know, like, hey, like, what's going on, you know, like, what's the deal, or you try to be yourself, I think more people are more comfortable with you. in a sense where they're more relaxed and they're more like, okay, this guy is not letting the badge get to his head, which, fortunately some officers let it get to their head, and this is something that we can't control, and it's just, I can only do what I can do.
I don't know if it's something you can talk about or not, but have you ever got any crooked cops here in Corpus?
As far as I know, I don't know. I can't speak for that. And I just, like I said, all I can do is how can I become, I guess, like a good cop, in every situation. How can I guess change someone's perspective if I can? How can I make it seem like, hey, like this cop is a good cop? Have I gotten compliments like that? Oh yeah. Like, hey man, that cop is cool. That's a good cop and stuff like that. And that actually makes me happy because I'm like, okay, I'm able to give this guy or girl hope that, like there's at least one cool cop, even though they hate all of them. And I have that too happen before where they're like, man, I hate the laws, but he's like, actually, you actually hear me out. Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm not going to let this badge, get to my head or whatever. I'm not going to let this badge be like, oh, I'm a cop, so I don't care what you say or this and that. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of metal.
Yeah, I noticed about that when I met you because, man, I've met a lot of cops in my life. And, 75% of them are just assholes, whatever. Like, and I get it. They kind of have, I get it. They kind of have to because dealing with certain people, whatever, because, the criminal people that I know growing up and being around with are the ones that, you show a little bit of weakness, they're going to eat that shit up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, when I met you, you're real cool. You're real nice, whatever. You come to my restaurant and stuff. And, I saw that you were different. You know what I mean? Like I'm not used to that, but there's a lot of good cops here in Corpus that I met that are, they're really good people.
Yeah. And I think that's just kind of good because like we do have a really good relationship with the community. And most, obviously there's going to be some that don't like us, and that's just everywhere, that's just a job, at the end of the day. Right. And I don't think a lot of people's going to like your, like, I don't say a lot of people, some people don't like your restaurant, but you can't just let that affect it. A lot of people do like your restaurant, but it's the same thing. A lot of people don't like cops, and and some people do. It's just what it is. And
you ever got any bad threats?
It's just mainly like if I have to arrest them, it's like kind of just run their mouth like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, or I hope you die, or I hope your family dies. It's just one of those things, and I can't let it get to heart. It's just one of those things where like. At the end of the day, like, dude, I get it. You're upset, and I just gotta let it go one ear after the other. It does it hurt? Like, yeah, like, like no one wants to be told that thing. Yeah. Hey, I hope your family dies. I hope you get shot, or I hope nobody wants that. But, it's, in my line of work, I'm going to have that more than a lot of people are going to say, hey, you're a cool cop or whatever, it's just, it is.
Is it the kids that give you the most problems?
Mainly the kids. And then it's just the drunk older people, but mainly the kids. They're, they'll see you, they'll flip you off and, suck my dick or whatever the case is, I'm trying to watch my language, but yeah, it's just mainly the kids, and, that's okay. They're kids. Yeah. We're all kids one time, and, have we done things that we don't want to do and, or regret like later in life, and it's just what it is. But sometimes too, like when they do that, I try to engage in a conversation, but more as a fact, like, hey, like, where are you going? Like, let's talk it out. And some of them will come back and we'll start talking, and then at the end of the day, we'll just shake it off. Like after he just flipped me off, like in 10 minutes, you're like, what the heck? Like, like, but it's cool. Like, it's cool for me to see that, because I'm just like, okay, maybe I gain his respect, but if I didn't, I didn't. If I did, I did. It's really cool. But it's mainly the kids, but they're kids, Yeah.
What is your like goal when you pull someone over? Like, what are you hoping like for it to go over smoothly that you would like people to know?
So for me, I'm more of an educator than anything, right? So when I pull someone over, I don't go up. I know I'm supposed to, right? But I really go up and I try to be cool, right? I'm not going to be, again, robot or anything. Hi, this and that. I pulled you over for whatever it is, and I have your license. Like, no, I'm like, hey man, like, I pulled you over.
Not like the state troopers do.
Yeah, but that's like, they're strict.
Yeah, man. They are, man.
They're strict. Their policies, and they have to do it by the book, and so do we. But I want to be more friendly, right? Because unfortunately, throughout the years, in the past, a lot of people are starting to get more scared when they get pulled over than anything. And so I try to come out more calm, cool, collected, And I just say like, hey, like the reason I pulled you over is for this. And, you know, and I'm kind of just more of an educator than a ticket writer, because like, I don't think it's right. Like, let's put it, for example, if I pull you over for a broken headlight or a broken tail light, and I'm not gonna give a ticket, you know, because why? You probably truly didn't know, you know. And that's why I told him, I was like, no, I'm pulling you over mainly to tell you, hey, you have your light out, fix it, you know, because why would I do something that I don't want done to me?
Yeah,
you know, because I don't go out in my car and check each light, you know, or whatever the case is, you know. I don't do that. And you know, so I just try to be cool. I'm just, you know, and the main thing I want from the start is to earn their respect, you know, and to earn that, hey, I'm just doing this, just cooperate, or just let me do my thing, I'll get you out here as fast as I can. And it usually ends out well, you know, because I try not to like you know that light was out, like, or like you should have known that light was out, like nobody truly knows that, you know. So I try to be cool, try to be respectful, and that's why I hope and get in return as well. You know, and that's just my goal. I'm not trying to hassle people's lives and
you don't automatically want to start searching the car and stuff like that.
No, it's not that easy.
You
know, it's not that easy. It all comes down to consent, you know, or if they don't have insurance, or, you know, or we don't have probable cause to go inside. Other than that, you know, have I asked people, hey, can I search your car? And they have a license and insurance, and they say no. I'm like, okay, here's your ID. I'm not going to push the issue. You know, and I usually tell them that. It's like, hey, I know you're right. You know, I'm not here to push the issue. You know, I asked, you said no, and I'm going to respect that. You know, because why am I going to start pushing the issue for what? Because at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. You know, people that say no, like they don't want consent, even if they're doing something wrong or not, they know they're right. So why would I try to push the issue and make myself look dumb? You know, because at the end of the day, they're gonna look smart. I'm gonna look dumb. And you know, it's just, I'm not gonna push the issue. You know, so I don't really push the issue on that. It's just, it is what it is, and
that's smart, man.
You know, it is what it is, and that's just mainly it. So but yeah, and then have some people say like, yeah, you can search my car, and have I found stuff? Yeah, you know, but I try not to make it a habit like every single stop. I'm gonna search a car, I'm gonna search a car. Like it is what it is. Each situation is different, you know. Each car I pull over is different. So it is what it is. And once that situation arises, then maybe I'll try. But if I get shut down, I get shut down.
Do you ever let anybody go that you should have taken in?
No, I don't think I have. I would say this: have I taken people in that I feel bad about? Yeah. You know, and then at the end of the day, it's just something because Texas says I should do this, or it's an arrestable offense. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Like, have I like your question? Yeah, have I didn't take anyone in that I should have? Like, no, but have I arrested people? I'm like, dang, like I feel bad for doing this. But again, I can't really let it affect me. And
it's your job.
At the end of the day, it's just my job. You know, and you know, fortunately, my job has a lot of ups and downs, a lot of stress, and a lot of emotions. But you know, it is what it is. But it kind of comes down to that point as well. So, but it's just different every day, man. It's kind of hard to like pinpoint, but it's just different every day, man.
What's the worst thing you hate about your job?
It's kind of a hard one, man. I don't know. Like, I kind of like really like my job because it was something I really wanted to do. But the main thing I hate, and then I know some people are probably like, well, that's what you signed up for, right? It's just mainly the disrespect. And that's mainly, and I don't blame, okay, right? Over the years, you know, you have national stuff like, you know, the Freddie Gray and the BLM movement and stuff like that. And I get that, you know. But at the end of the day, like, I'm human too. You know, I bleed the same color as y'all. You know, I have feelings, I have emotions as well, and especially, you know, when I try to give someone respect and I don't get it in return, like it kind of hurts me. But you know, and you know, sometimes I do think like, it is something I signed up for, but it's just something that, you know, still hurts me because I'm just like, what did I do? You know, what did I do in order to deserve this? And you know, some people are just like, well, you're a cop. And I got that before, like, because they even tell him, like, what did I do to deserve? He's like, well, because you're just a cop. I'm like, okay, but I'm more just a cop. I'm a brother, you know, I'm a friend, you know, I'm a son, you know. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, it kind of just hurts me because like I'm just going to be buying my own business too, and just like, you know, like fuck you, and like okay, you know, like
thank you.
You're like awesome, like okay, like you know, but it's, I mean, it is what it is, but it's just so.
And y'all can't just take someone in for disrespecting you either, right?
No, and it's just and you know, a lot of people think too, like, oh man, he's taking me in because shit or whatever. Like, no, like we can't do that.
Yeah,
you know, we can't just simply arrest someone because they're talking, because of the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Right. It's, at the end of the day, it's just freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And that's y'all's First Amendment right. If you don't like someone, then
what's the best thing you like about your job?
Man, the best thing I like about my job is it's something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's something new every day, and it's just I like waking up, and I don't know if it's because I'm an adrenaline freak or what, but going to work and not knowing the known, you know, because. Right, there's a lot of people that work downtown. They work 8 to 5. They go upstairs in their little cubicle, and they'll be like, "Well, I know I gotta do that. I need to send this email out. I need to do this today. I got this today. I got this meeting or whatever." But for me, it's just like, what I love about my job is like, okay, I'm going to work. What's my first call gonna be? Who am I gonna meet? You know, who am I gonna impact today? What stories I'm gonna hear? You know, and that's what I like about it, and that's probably just the adrenaline rush, right? Because like. I remember one time I pulled over this guy who, he was texting driving, and he was weaving all over the place. And, you know, I try not to like harp on that because, you know, it's becoming more of a common thing. But he was just like weaving a lot, and he ended up being like an ex Kansas City like Super Bowl winner champion.
Oh no shit!
I saw the ring and I was like, you know, and that's kind of cool, right? Yeah. Like, you know, like I pulled someone over for a simple thing, but he ended up being this guy, you know, and stuff like that. And you know, that's what I like about it. It's just not knowing the known, and every day is different, and you know, and it's not the same thing every day. So that's just what I love about it, and it doesn't faze me. The adrenaline that gets me going, you know, the adrenaline, like, oof, like here we go, like, you know, like this is the call or this is whatever. And it's fun, man. It's fun. And I know like a lot of people can't really have that because. And some people are like, man, I hate my job. I'm gonna go in the morning and get my cup of coffee and gotta do this email before I head out or whatever. But not me. My boss was breathing down my throat. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like, hey, you finished with that burger? I thought we had to get 20. You only made 10, you know. But it's just, you know, it's just what it is. But that's just me. I just love the adrenaline, the not knowing the known, man. That's just crazy.
No police chases yet?
I've been in a couple.
Yeah.
I even did it when I was in the FTO program. Oh no shit. You know, that was my first one. You know, but I've been in a couple. You know, whether it's foot pursuits or vehicle pursuits, and that's just it's fun, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Foot or car?
Foot.
Yeah.
Right. Because car, you're only just testing out the car's limit. But on foot, you're testing out your mental, you're testing out your agility, your speed, and whatnot. So I love foot pursuits. You know, I haven't gotten into one in a while, but I know one time I did like a block and a half, you know, and that was just like the longest one I did, and it was just crazy. But yeah, I just love foot pursuits because it's just you don't know where they're gonna go next. You know, they're not on the road, they're gonna cut through houses, they're gonna cut through alleys, but you know, in a car, they're gonna go through roads, and whatnot. But so me personally, I like foot, and it's just something I like that gets me, you know, the adrenaline going. I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. So
check out the top comment.
So, they pour. Look for someone. Oh wow, really? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I try to be, you know, even sometimes too. Like some people are like, hey, I have my plates, and you know, in that regards, I pulled someone over. She had her children with her, and I was like, hey, I pulled you over because you don't have plates. She's like, oh, I got it right here, but I don't know how to put them on. So I was like, just give it to me and pop my knife out and put all of them on. Yeah. Let them go. I'm not going to write a ticket.
That's badass, man.
You know, and then, but yeah, no, that's a really good comment. Yeah, wow. Do it, yeah. And, you know, and it's not hard. You know, everyone has a different story, you know. Yeah. It's just, you know, that's what you should do. Like, you try to get one. You know, it's just that simple. But yeah, I'm seeing all these comments, and I kind of, you know, figured that they're going to be, you know, mixed, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know, and everyone's got their opinions. So I'm not gonna berate them or, you know, wow, that's a dumb comment. Like, I'm here to hear everyone out, and, you know, to have questions, you know, go by all means, you know, answer the question. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I try to be more helpful than you know, just
no, that's
like,
badass,
you know,
man. You're doing a good job what you're doing, man.
No, I appreciate it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm here just I want to make an impact. I don't want to, and that's why I kind of came on this podcast too, because I just want people to know that, especially here in Corpus with the latest events and stuff like that, you know, and the crime and, you know, especially national news of what's going on with defunding the police in Austin and Chicago, that with all that going on, don't let the media influence you. You know, I know it's hard to say because we got social media that, you know, displays, you know, what it is. We got YouTube that, you know, captures cops at their words and whatnot. But I came on this podcast to hopefully show, you know, Corpus and your viewers. I'm not, you know, we're not gonna get the whole Corpus, but hopefully some, that even though you're seeing all this, I hope you can see that there's at least one cop that is going to be open and honest and respectful and understanding, you know. And is this podcast may, you know, I don't want to say put a target on my back, but is it gonna, for some people, they're gonna maybe see this and be like, hey dude, like you're an asshole or whatever. Probably, right? Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is, and everyone has their opinions, and I'm a very opinionated person too as well, and I want to hear those stories, and I want to hear like why you think this and why you think that, and you know, and everyone's got their own opinions and their own topics, and I'm not here to, you know, change their minds. If, you know, if I can, I can. If I can't, I can.
Yeah, we're already running out of time, man. Anything else you want to say before we end it?
No, just you know, I kind of pretty much said it. You know, hopefully they can see that, you know, like, there's some out there that they're actually good, and, you know, they're not actually bad. And, you know, if you see me on the streets, don't be afraid to say hi, you know, come out, have a conversation. Fuck you. No. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah. If you tell me that, you tell me that, you know, I'm not gonna be like, you know, whatever, sad or salty or whatever, but, you know,
man, it's respect for respect, man.
Yeah. Respect is respect. And that's just the main thing. At the end of it, doesn't matter. Yeah. It's all about respect. Doesn't matter if you have a shield. Doesn't matter if you're a doctor. Doesn't matter if you're the president. Once you got to earn everybody's respect. Yeah, you know, and that's just the main thing. So,
all right, bro, we're gonna go ahead and end it. And we're gonna have another session. It's gonna be a bullshit session with me, friend of mine, Mark Pantoja, Javo, and Checo. So we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, home of the black sheep and the outcast. Welcome to the Volo Podcast, no cap, true stories, what you know about that.